What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we need to talk about Robinhood stock, ticker symbol HOOD, because this stock is falling today. It's been falling the past week, it's been falling the past month. This stock has been getting crushed, and a lot of people are wondering why that is because when it first IPO'd, it was skyrocketing. So we're going to take a look at a couple of the pros and cons, as well as where Hood stock might be going and what's causing them to fall as of right now. And we're going to take a look at the chart first of all to see what's been going on today. Well, first off, you can see we just broke through not just $26, but also $25 today. We are now officially below $25. We're at all-time lows for this stock. We're at $24.96. And if you look at the past year, you can see we have never been this low before. We IPO'd around 38, and then we moved up to 85 on Wall Street Pet and Reddit Hype. And since then have actually been in a pretty significant downtrend. We've had a couple of bad earnings calls. This most recent one actually launched us down off of $40, where we were trying to cling to right before the earnings. We had a bad earnings call. People did not like what Robinhood had to say or what they showed for revenue, and we started moving down massively after that, and we are now hitting lows of $24.61 on the day. And people are wondering when this bloodshed might end. When will Robinhood stock start going up again? Well, it's no surprise that Robinhood stock is falling right now because the markets in general have been a little bit frothy. They've moved down a little bit as of late. The markets have been seeing some pain as well. It's not just Robinhood stock, it's all stocks pretty much for the most part. All the stocks are moving down, and so Robinhood is included in this, but it has been moving down for a lot longer than most other stocks have. And there is a reason for this, right? Robinhood first IPO'd, and they IPO'd actually during one of their best quarters ever, okay? They had massive user growth, massive revenue growth, and we'll take a look at some of those statistics in a second. But first, we're going to highlight what they did this most recent earnings call, which is the reason for a big decline, okay? And this is coming directly from Robinhood's website. So the numbers here are accurate, and they are actually being compared to the third quarter of 2020. And when you do that, when you compare them to the quarter that we had a year ago from their most recent earnings call, they actually seem like pretty good numbers, right? If you look at their total revenues, you'll see that it increased 35% year over year to 365 million compared with 270 million the quarter of the previous year. Their net loss, though, was actually a very sore point, right? They had a $1.32 billion loss, or $2.06 per share, compared with a net loss of 11 million or 5 cents per share the same quarter the previous year. So massive losses were accrued. Whereas, in the previous year, they had actually been seeing less revenue. So they saw more revenue, but more losses, so many more losses, in fact, that they actually had a much larger loss in profit overall. So it was a relatively negative quarter for Robinhood earnings-wise. And the reason was they were working on a bunch of things, which we're going to address in a second. But I will also mention that their assets under custody, which basically measures how much the account values of their users are, increased by 115% to 95 billion, compared with 44 billion from the third quarter of 2020. So all in all, that's a pretty good increase, and that's a pretty steady increase, and something that people were probably happy to see. However, their growth has slowed down, and they even highlighted that the past quarter was about developing more products and services for their customers, including crypto wallets, more so than expanding user growth, which they had massive amounts of the quarters prior, because Dogecoin had been a big hypey thing. It was tradable on Robinhood. A bunch of new people opened up accounts on Robinhood specifically to trade Dogecoin and other cryptos as well, but mostly Dogecoin. And that was actually a reason why right before this IPO, a bunch of people were opening up Robinhood accounts, and Robinhood was looking like it was at a very good valuation when it was IPOing because so many new people were opening up those accounts. However, we had two more earnings calls, and they were fairly negative, and we're going to cover what they were working on this year, and then we're going to cover why these earnings calls have been disappointing investors and why Robinhood has been moving down on that. And finally, we will eventually address where Robinhood could potentially be going, as well as a trading strategy that you might employ with Robinhood if you're bullish on it over the long term. But first, we will talk about Robinhood delivering on their customer service promise. They finally launched a 24/7 live phone support in-app, so you can access someone on a hotline 24/7, and they are actually the first major crypto platform to provide 24/7 phone support. So that is a fairly impressive statistic. I know a lot of people use Robinhood purely for crypto, and it is fairly significant that they are the first platform to provide 24/7 phone support, because sometimes when you're dealing with brokerages, you have issues and you do need that hotline to call people on. So Robinhood also opened the waitlist for crypto wallets. This is less impressive, right? They're just opening a waitlist and saying that they're working on crypto wallets, but this will surely help lure in more of the crypto-heavy investors into Robinhood if they see that there are wallets. I know there's a call out there, not your wallet, not your wallet, not your crypto, something like that. And people are essentially saying, if you're just buying the crypto on Robinhood and Robinhood is holding it for you, it's not really your crypto, because the point is that you're supposed to be able to take it. It's supposed to be more decentralized. You're supposed to be able to do what you want with it and not have it be controlled by institutions. And that is a big rallying call. So Robinhood opening the waitlist, at least for crypto wallets, is a good thing. And we'll see what happens to Robinhood stock when they actually release crypto wallets fully. If they really do get a ton more users, that would certainly be good for them. And lastly, and potentially least as well, Robinhood Snacks, which is essentially their news podcast kind of thing. It's essentially a little blurb that they give in the morning that lasts a minute or two and just talks about some of the stocks that are moving that day. It is available directly from within the Robinhood app, and in addition, they have launched it on Snapchat, and it's actually one of the first financially oriented educational channels to be made available on Snapchat's platform. So interesting stuff to see at the very least, right? Robinhood Snacks I don't really use, but it is something that some people who are potentially newer to investing, which a lot of Robinhood's customers and users are, might find use for. So overall, this doesn't sound like the worst earnings report. Obviously, they had a big fat loss of $1.32 billion, which investors were not happy about, but they were working on, customer support. That was probably a very expensive point for them, as well as crypto wallets. If they were really working hard on those, I could see that eating up some cash, as well as Robinhood Snacks. I mean, if they're continuing to produce that and drawing in not too much revenue from it, then it could certainly be a big drain on the finances, I could see. But the real reason that Robinhood fell a ton off this most recent earnings call is, if you look at the chart right here, their revenue was growing quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter until quarter three, when the revenue actually fell quite a bit. And potentially this is because a lot of people were using Robinhood to trade Dogecoin. I mean, you saw a massive jump. It did actually increase from quarter four of 2020 to quarter three of 2021, the most recent quarter. I will also remove myself just a second so you can see this a little bit better. But quarter three of 2021 right here did actually increase, not counting quarter one and two. Okay, so if you knock those out, then there was an increase from quarter four to quarter three. However, because Robinhood had done so well due to crypto investments and all kinds of payment for order flow that they're making off of mostly Dogecoin transactions, they had massive revenues for these 2 quarters. And when that hype kind of fell away, and when people had lost a bunch of money on Dogecoin, potentially some people had lost a bunch of money who were using Robinhood for the first time to buy it, potentially some users stopped using the app, and you saw a big decrease. And that actually discouraged a lot of investors in Robinhood, because they were expecting for there to be massive user growth and for continued revenue growth. And it was a complete blindside to a lot of people to see, as you can tell, massive decrease in revenues, because you saw a massive dip in Robinhood price, right? It went from around $40, from close to $40, all the way down to $35, and then in the subsequent month is all the way down at 24. So people really are disappointed about this. Obviously, growth stocks have also been hurting quite a bit as of late. This has not stopped Cathie Wood from buying up Robinhood stock, I will say. So Cathie Wood has recently, over the past couple of days, been buying up Robinhood stock. It is getting to a pretty cheap valuation, and I will say that at the moment, I am not actually going to be buying Robinhood stock itself, because I don't like to buy stocks when they're on massive downtrends like this, typically, especially when they're new and freshly IPO'd, when we haven't quite set many support and resistance levels. We're kind of in new territory, and for the first time, we're seeing how low Robinhood could go. But potentially, because Robinhood, I think, over the long term will be doing well, some people might want to be buying it. And one way that I would consider getting in on Robinhood is actually through options. And I'm not suggesting anyone buy options on Robinhood, because who's to say where the price will go in the future? But there are some potentially profitable options trades that people could take on Robinhood if they were interested. And obviously, this isn't financial advice, but something that I am considering is selling some $20 puts for 2023, for January of 2023. So that's about a year out. And you can actually sell the $20 puts for a premium of $470, somewhere between $470 and $515. So maybe let's just say $5. So essentially you're collecting a $5 premium to sell these $20 puts. And that would essentially mean that if Robinhood ended below $20 per share by January 20th of 2023, so in over a year from now, if it ended below $20 per share, you would be getting Robinhood you'd be paying $20 at the time, but you are collecting a $5 premium currently. So you'd actually be getting Robinhood for 15 bucks per share in a year from now. So if you think Robinhood is going to be doing better in a year from now than it is today, then you could potentially be getting it for a pretty darn cheap price. And that's only if the stock price ends up falling, right? If the stock price ends up moving up and we stay above $20, then you could potentially just be collecting that premium and not having to buy Robinhood stock at all, but you get that premium of $5 per share. So however many options contracts you're interested in entering, you could potentially be collecting a fairly large premium over the course of the next year. So that is a potential trade that I'm considering. And obviously, you don't have to stick with that contract through the end. If the contract just cheapens because Robinhood goes up in price, you could obviously close the contract out prematurely and by buying it back and hopefully buy it back for a cheaper price. So that's a potential trade that I'm considering. It's not necessarily one that I'm going to take just yet. I'm going to see if Robinhood can't fall just a little bit more, potentially get that premium moving up just a little bit more. But we will see what happens with Robinhood stock over the next couple of days. As of right now, it's actually getting quite a bit of attention on Google Trends. You can see its numbers are boosting up. We actually reached a record today for the past week of 100. So that is the most people searching for it on Google Trends, or at least on Google, I should say. Today at 10 a.m., we had the highest number of the past week. So more people are looking into this as it's falling. More people may be thinking that it's a better buy. And you can also see that Robinhood is number 4, the number 4 trending stock. And moments ago, it was number 1. So just a couple minutes ago, it was trending number 1 on StockTwits. Now it's fallen to number 4. But a lot of people are looking at Robinhood, I think, and potentially considering investing in it for the long term, because at this point, obviously, when it initially started running up, it was potentially overbought off that Reddit and Wall Street Bets hype. In fact, it was almost certainly overbought. But now it might be getting to the point where it's a little oversold, and potentially taking a bullish position on it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. Obviously, not financial advice, just my opinion on the thing. It's just what I think about Robinhood stock, and I'm not trying to convince anyone to buy or sell it. I'm just here to deliver some of the news and tell you guys some of the potential catalysts that were moving it in the past and could be moving it in the future. So other than that, guys, hopefully you have had a great day so far, and you're going to have a great day moving onwards. Hopefully you haven't lost too much money on Robinhood stock, but pretty much everyone at this point is losing money on it unless you're a short, because it is reaching record lows as of today. So other than that, guys, have a great day. Hope to see you in the next one. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, but I'll see you in the next one.